Welcome, everybody. We're at GoLocal Live. It is Business Monday. The sun is shining in downtown Providence. I'm Josh Fenton. This is Richard Lappin. He's, what do we call you? Real estate mogul, purveyor of hospitality. Richard is co-owner of the Regency Plaza Empire. Is it an official empire?
No, Regency Plaza Apartments. My partner, Ed Zucker, has a lot of apartments.
Good for you. It's been a mainstay in Providence. We'll talk a little bit about real estate in a second. Let's talk about the important stuff. You're the leader of an organization. You chair the board in putting together a major effort to really help parents gap finance for higher education. It's called Providence Promise. Talk a little bit about what the initiative's about.
Sure. Providence Promise is one of over 300 Promise communities in the country now. All of them have the same goal of providing financial resources so that children can go on to higher education, and also to build a college-going culture within the family and within the community as well. And that's what we're trying to do. Our financial resources will fill the gap between the cost of higher education net of financial aid.
And the cost of higher education, as the parent of someone who just graduated from Georgetown and one at Colby, not a minor endeavor. It's a game changer. I actually, after hearing all about this bribery into higher education, I wish I had thought about bribing not to have them go to higher education. It would have been far cheaper if I had just paid Georgetown some money and they could have rejected my daughter. It is a mammoth financial issue for Americans today. College debt is now the leading form of debt, I believe, in the United States, and it's just changing our economy when people can buy cars and houses and changing the whole structure of the American dream. This is pretty interesting of how you've structured this and how many families you're already working with. Talk a little bit about how many families are already enrolled.
Yeah, we currently have 361 students enrolled, and the parents, about 178 parents, whose many of them have 2 children in the program. But all the parents have opened up a 529 college savings account, and they've agreed to set aside 1% of their income per year for up to 15 years. So that's the parent's responsibility in terms of being able to enroll in the program. And then once the child goes on to higher education, we'll fill that funding gap that's necessary. And when the child finishes their higher education program, they'll contribute back to the program an average of 1% of their income for approximately 8 years.
It's great. And I just saw a pen is up to $72,000 a year for room, board, and tuition, not counting books and all the ancillary. We're talking about $80,000 all in after-tax dollars. For the average Rhode Island family, who I think makes around $70,000 annually, both parents working, there's no possible way to be able to meet the demands of private education, and even the state schools that aren't covered by Rhode Island Promise have a significant obligation. How important, from your standpoint, you're passionate about this, is giving everybody the opportunity to be able to go to college?
Yeah, that's really what it's all about. We're trying to allow the families and the students to be able to follow their dreams, to be able to go on to the college of their choice, to go on to to whatever they want to do with the rest of their lives in their own way. So when the child gets out of their higher education program, they don't have a fixed debt. Instead, their payments back to the program, their contributions back to the program, are a percentage of their income. So it will go up or down. If somebody wants to go into a low-paying field, that's fine. And no matter what, the parents and the students will never pay more than what they would have paid or contributed if they had a traditional student loan.
Gives them much more flexibility, more ability to be able to do have greater financial freedom at the beginning of their work experience.
Right, and we're engaging families whose children are from birth up to 8th grade now. In the future will be from birth to kindergarten. So we're introducing the program at a very young age, which is really very critical in terms of creating this college-going culture and the expectations that the child's going to go on to some form of higher education, whether it's a 2 or 4 year school or a technical or trade school.
It's called Providence Promise. Is right now, is it limited to students from Providence, Rhode Island?
Right. It's limited to students from Providence in the public schools or the public charter schools.
So if you're a townie over in East Providence, you're out of luck right at the moment.
Well, unless you want to move to Providence, which is what's happened in other Promise communities. So it's also an economic development driver. These folks do want to live in a city that have this kind of has this kind of program.
And how are you getting the word out? How are parents learning about this? How are educators, how are other influencers who help guide parents through the education process learning of this program?
Yeah, we're out in the community all the time. It's a community-based program, which is really critical, where everybody is participating together. We have a memorandum of understanding with the school department. We go into the schools with a program. We work with the kids with a fellow named Mr. Deep Positivity, who's a rap artist, and then we bring the kids back after they do a project with their parents. We engage the parents, and at that time we start the process of enrollment.
That's great.
And we're also back out in the community in terms of churches and other community organizations.
Let's talk. All this is about money, money, money. Cha-ching. Usually Gary Sass is here at 4 o'clock on Monday, so the money man is usually here. You've got a fundraiser coming up this week over at Brown University on the 28th. Give a little overview on that.
Yeah, sure. We have a fundraiser coming up, a gala, on Thursday at Sales Hall at Brown University. You'll be able to go online and buy tickets if you'd like. It's open to the public. Hopefully people will make a contribution, but we welcome you. We want you to learn more about the program and meet some of the parents as well.
Great. Gala, is this black tie, long evening
it's very,
gowns?
no.
Sounds
You
intimidating.
can come just like this.
Even you've got to have higher standards than that. We'll have all the links into both Providence Promise as well as to the gala in the article appearing on GoLocal tomorrow. Congratulations on this effort. This is a community-based initiative. Good for you being a community leader, somebody who's made a real impact into Providence and been a property owner here for a good long time. Let's talk about the real estate market. It's expensive to live in Providence right now as a comparison to what people make in this city. Affordable housing is a big impetus. We've got a lot of property product coming onto the market or by the State House, down the river, 5 or 6 major apartment complexes, but they're not inexpensive either.
No.
Right. How's all this going to shake out?
Well, our personal view at the Regency is that we'll be bringing more product online. We need more people living downtown to really create a much more lively day-to-day and evening activity. And that's really what's critical to us, and that's why we welcome all of this new development. May result in a little more vacancy in the short term, but in the long term, we believe that everybody will gain from these new developments.
It all sort of flushes out. I mean, when Buff Chase's properties on Westminster came online, when Tony Thomas brought the Foundry Promenade Apartments online, I'm sure it had then the Water Place, all these things sort of came online. But it's bringing more people and more density down to downtown and urban living, which by every measure is really where people want to be.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right. And we've seen a lot of changes since we bought the property from Gilbane in 1986.
1986 is when you bought it. So you're really the war-torn veteran of the downtown residential living. And by all estimations, just here consistently, you run a tremendous property with incredible customer service. Yep. Huge dedication to that.
That's what it's all about.
Richard Lappin, I want to congratulate you on all the good work on education, your commitment to the city, helping children realize higher education. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. I think Chelsea, Kate, they're both on tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock hour. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back tomorrow.